to this. Beauty in creation. God's poem or God's poetry. It was a shock to me to learn, and I didn't know it until recently. I was reading just a short devotional written by the late Dr. Henry M. Morris, who was the mentor to David Bassett at the back there. And he mentioned that in the New Testament, the word poem is used twice. It's poema in the Greek. And it is used by the activity of God himself, that God expressed a poema. God is a poet. I shouldn't have been surprised at that. So let's let Dr. Morris talk to us, and I deeply appreciate what he's had to say. It comes as a surprise to most of us, as I was just saying, that Scripture mentions that God wrote 2 poems. And this is much of this information you have in hand today. Dr. Henry Morris brought this to our attention. The word poem is derived from the Greek poema, used only twice in the New Testament. It refers to 2 great works of God himself. Thus, God is the divine poet who has created 2 great masterpieces, artistic creations of marvelous intricacy and surpassing beauty. So, once Dr. Morris said that and gave just a little touch, as we're going to read here, I wanted to research more about this. The first is the cosmic masterpiece, the physical universe. God's first poema, first poem, is the entire cosmic universe. The first is the entire physical universe. For the invisible things of him, from the creation of the world, are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they're without excuse. Romans 1:20. In this key verse, poema is translated things that are made. So we could simply read that. For the invisible things of God, from the creation of the world, that's the subject, are clearly seen, being understood by the poema, by God's poem, the expression of that physical creation, even his eternal power and Godhead. In this key verse, poema is translated things that are made. Everything in the universe, animate and inanimate, the chemistry, physical bodies, and the living systems. Everything constitutes a marvelous product of God's creative forethought and inventive skill. If a beautiful poem requires a poet to create it, so much the more does the complex cosmic poem of the universe demand a great poet of consummate wisdom and infinite power. The rejection of the poet and the message of the poem leaves one without excuse. Dr. Morris continues to write, and he's correct. To illustrate universal compass, now we get to our research and quoting again. Of this majestic poem, we quote secularist Michael Denton, not only a creation scholar like Dr. Henry Morris, but Dr. Michael Denton, a major research scholar. He writes, galaxies far from the Earth, with their shells and systems, are surprisingly important to all systems on the Earth. The inertial forces experienced by objects on the Earth are generated by the total combined gravitational attraction of all matter in the cosmos, including the most distant stars and galaxies. Because most of the matter in the universe is far from the Earth, this means that the greatest contribution to the inertia of objects on the Earth is made by the most distant galaxies. I read that very quickly, but that is awesomely correct. What that really means is the knee bone is connected to the shin bone, that's connected to the leg bone, that's connected to the foot bone. I mean, in the old verbiage, everything is fitly framed together.